Alex shivered under the thin blanket, his childhood bedroom alive with imagined terrors. The floral wallpaper contorted into leering faces, branches outside the window writhed like serpents, and discarded clothes on the floor morphed into slumped figures. Lamps became disembodied heads, and car grills grinned with sinister intent in the moonlight. Every creak was a groan, the wind a shriek, the settling house a heavy breath. Ghouls, ghosts, and monsters lurked in every shadow. He wasn't just imaginative. He suffered from severe chronic pareidolia. Seeing faces in clouds or patterns in wood was a normal human trait, a leftover defense mechanism. For Alex, it was dialed up 16 times, a constant, overwhelming barrage of perceived threats. Treatment started young. By 12, he'd endured 6 different medication regimens over 4 brutal years. The side effects were crippling: irritability, hyperfocus, or sheer exhaustion. By 18, college felt impossible, a stable job, a fantasy. His current meds barely held him together, but induced violent tics, dropping things, legs jerking uncontrollably in sleep. His mother lined the stairs with grip tape. Years later, during a mandatory, humiliating visit to county employment services on a particularly bad med day, Alex stumbled, nearly smashing into a brick wall and knocking over a trash can. Flustered and reeking, he was ushered into an interview. The woman across the desk introduced herself as Cassandra Reed. She was sharp, dressed in a practical wool coat, and offered him a trial job with a substantial one-time payment. The details were vague, shrouded in secrecy. Her only demand: stop taking his medication. Desperate and smelling of garbage, Alex agreed. A week later, unmedicated and sleep-deprived, the world was a waking nightmare again. Faces swam in the plaster, shadows coalesced into figures. Every rustle held a whispered threat. Cassandra picked him up in a nondescript sedan, tense and distracted, constantly checking her GPS. They drove 40 minutes off the interstate highway into a rural area, arriving at a scrubby yard dominated by 2 large trailers and a dilapidated 1960s prefab house with broken windows. The scene was a military operation. Warning tape, a command tent humming with electronics, powerful spotlights, crates under tarps, and armed personnel in tactical gear. Medics stood ready with stretchers. Alex was swarmed. A headset, gloves, a heart monitor, and a plastic wristband were fitted. Cassandra watched intently, a bead of sweat tracing her temple. "Status?" she barked into her headset. 3, 4, just 1. "Early acquisition, site confirmed," the reply came. "Any blooms?" "Negative. Area clear." Cassandra turned to Alex, placing her hands on his shoulders. "It looks like a lot, but I just need you to go inside carefully and tell me what you see." "Why? What's in there?" "I don't know," she admitted. "None of us do, but we believe you can perceive it." "Is it dangerous?" "Unknown. We're trying to understand them." After signing waivers, blood draws, eye checks, and, bizarrely, removing the safety goggles they'd just given him, "You need clear sight," Cassandra insisted. Alex stood before the door. A countdown echoed in his headset. Spotlights flared, bathing the yard in an eerie silence. His legs trembled. "I'm with you, Alex," Cassandra's voice crackled. "Leave any time. Just tell me what you truly see." At 0, he stepped inside. The house was small and abandoned. 3 rooms, a bathroom, a kitchen. Pale spotlight beams cut through the grimy windows, illuminating dust motes and the ghost of someone's life, clothes tossed over a chair. He moved slowly, heart pounding, reporting mundane details. Couch, old TV, patterned rug. Cassandra grew impatient. "These are just things. Tell me what you see." Entering the bathroom, a primal dread seized him. A noise tickled his ear. In the mirror, movement flickered behind him. He whirled, screaming, catching a glimpse of piercing blue eyes before slamming the door shut. He crashed backwards, tearing down the shower curtain, crushing a cockroach, gasping for air on the cold porcelain. "What did you see?" Cassandra yelled. "Blue eyes, blue eyes! Location! Gone outside the door! Look again, then get out!" It took 15 minutes of coaxing to pry him from the tub. Shakily, he opened the door. The hallway was empty. Standing in the living room, feeling foolish, he realized the paranoia his meds suppressed was flaring. Maybe the armed circus outside had primed him. Then he noticed a painting on the wall he was sure hadn't been there before. A generic thrift store scene of two women crossing a bridge on a summer day. As he stared, the image dissolved into swirling colors, and within the blur, the blue eyes reappeared. Small azure flecks in the painted water. He felt the painting's awareness, its knowledge that he could see it. "There's something in the painting," he whispered. "Living room. Absolutely sure. Get out. Now." He backed out, hearing floorboards creak, sensing movement. Hands grabbed him the moment he cleared the door. Paramedics flashed lights in his eyes, asking rapid-fire questions. He heard the breach team storm the house, stun guns, prods, nets. Lying on the ground, trembling and laughing through tears, Cassandra appeared beside him, handing him a cold drink and a pill he swallowed without thought. "You did good, Alex. You're done." What was that? Something only a unique perception can detect. That was Alex's first job for Cassandra. Over the next 2.5 years, he was called in roughly once a month. The pay was astronomical, lifting him out of his parents' house. Cassandra checked in weekly. He underwent regular medical surveillance. He learned he was a contractor for Apex BioSystems, a shadowy subsidiary of Apex Pharmaceuticals. He gleaned procedures. They obsessively checked for blooms, unnatural growths signaling infection, often blue flowers, tulips, sunflowers, but sometimes stranger things like teeth embedded in walls. Blooms meant immediate mission abort and scorched earth containment. Explosives in remote areas, flamethrowers in populated ones. He once watched men torch a greenhouse, the flames reflecting on their visors. Where they saw fire, he saw bodies writhing within it, heard screams in the shattering glass, saw hateful eyes in the melting plastic. He completed 33 cases. He'd enter a location, a house, an apartment, a warehouse, and pinpoint 1 to 3 entities hiding in plain sight. A chair, a fridge, a suspicious window, once a music box. He'd catch glimpses, fleeting movement, those chilling blue eyes, report it, and leave. He never learned what they truly were. Then came the rainy autumn evening at a secluded house marked with a knocked-over "for sale" sign. Routine setup, blood draw, plastic wristband. "Any blooms?" Cassandra asked the team lead. "Negative." "Single entity?" Initial scan suggested multiple, secondary shows 1. Possible runners, notified the Galapagos protocol. Cassandra sighed, turning to Alex with a forced smile. "In and out. You got this?" "I got this," Alex echoed. Countdown. Spotlights. He stepped inside, feeling unnervingly confident, like the hunter, not the hunted. The floor was noticeably crooked. He methodically cleared rooms. Kitchen, living room, bedroom. Nothing. 20 minutes passed. Emptiness echoed. "Cassandra, I'm not getting anything. Are you sure?" "Yeah." Her voice was distant. "We're good. Hold on." "Good? What do you mean, good?" Silence. Frustrated, he approached a front window, blinded by the spotlights. "Cassandra, I'm coming out. Place is empty." He opened the door. 24 faces stared back, but something was profoundly wrong. Their expressions were frozen masks, some neutral, some grinning maniacally, one paramedic slack-jawed in terror. A cold dread hollowed out Alex's stomach. His pareidolia, his curse and gift, flared violently. This scene was wrong, hiding a pattern. Cassandra stepped from behind a jeep, smiling widely. Behind the shape of her face, cold blue eyes ignited. One by one, the eyes of every person in the yard flared with the same chilling azure light. His perception tore away the human disguise. Beneath were elongated, nightmarish shapes, headless torsos, mauled figures, perfect mimics. Smiles widened, revealing rows of needle-sharp teeth. Necks stretched impossibly. Fingers lengthened into claws. They weren't losing their disguise. They were dropping it, facing him openly, unafraid. The wind itself seemed to scream, "Run!" Alex slammed the door. The house itself turned against him. Faces bulged from walls. Doorknobs sprouted grasping hands. His reflection in every surface showed a jawless, grinning horror. The layout warped. Extra doors, new windows, a sudden skylight in the kitchen, 4 identical fridges. Gruesome paintings materialized on the bedroom walls. They were everywhere, warping reality to trap him. Panic propelled him to the guest bedroom. He remembered one window. Now there were 2. He gambled, hurling himself through the nearest frame. He crashed into the undergrowth and ran blindly into the dark woods. Every shadow reached for him. Every branch snapped like laughter. The wind howled with phantom screams. He ran for hours until his foot caught between rocks, twisting his ankle. He fell, writhing, screaming as he felt claws rake his skin. After a moment of pure terror, he realized he was alone, scratched only by brambles. He sobbed, ignoring the twisted face he saw leering from the full moon. He limped home. All contact was severed. His work phone was dead, numbers disconnected. Apex BioSystems existed only as a shell corporation. No offices, no personnel, no trace. Cassandra was gone. Alex believed they thought he died in that house. That's why he decided to share his story anonymously. If they knew who he was, they could find him. For everyone else, his warning was simple. Be observant. Trust your intuition. It might be the only thing standing between you and the things that hide in the corners of your sight.